Thank you. Namaste and good afternoon to everyone. So, I'm going to read out the case study, and I have some fundamental questions, probably from the chart analysis perspective more. You can join and more fill into that. So, this was a case study centered on a university student who dropping out from the university, who literally stopped studying, came out of the college.
Little louder.
Came out of the college, and that kind of caused a lot of disturbance, pain to his father and the parents. So I'll read out some of the key dates, right? So the schooling completed in 2012 June, right? That is during the Saturn and Rahu subperiod. He got subsequently admitted to university in August 2012. That's on the same period, and he continued the study for almost like 3 years before he kind of stepped out, and he did not appear for the final exams, third year exam. So again, the later part of it, when the Saturn and Jupiter period out of the college, he is out of the college during that period. So subsequently, he discontinued the stream what he was studying, engineering, right? So he discontinued in July 2016. Before he re-entered into a different stream of education, right? Which is he changed the domain from one stream to engineering to a different stream of accounting and economics. So that's briefly a case study for a period of 3 years. So I had some fundamental question. I think you already answered. So the relevance of looking at why all the charts like Rasi and the Navamsha chart and also respective DC charts. So the transit period, to understand the transit period. So that I had a question that you already answered that. So, but I have one more fundamental question, right? So like everyone has their own taste of life, right? Is the planets, right, is their own taste, right? In the sense, what I'm asking is that how that's kind of relevant? Is that based on the transit period, the sub period, or it's the time of birth? I mean, based on the natal charts. So if I'm a student of say finance and commerce, right? My interest develops during that period, or it's starting from the birth. So how do we kind of know that, one? And also, is there any particular planets? They have their own, like you said, you mentioned earlier, say Mercury. Mercury is again higher education, right? And so it's similarly, if I have to pursue higher education in engineering, so is there any planets that drives that kind of technical education versus non-technical? So could you throw some light on that?
Okay. Every planet has significations. So can you show that slide where a planet's significations are shown like thermometer meniscus?
Yes.
So your planet has negative significations and also positive significations. And when a planet is weak, for example, so this is a diagram in which you have low energy level of Rahu. Let us say Rahu is in the 6th house, and then you are propitiating Rahu through the Rahu mantra or through Rahu pujas. Then the Rahu energy will go up. Overnight it's not going up. It may go up in 20 years. Yeah, overnight it won't go up. But when you do it with Shraddha, Bhakti, Sharanagati, Sankalpa, then slowly the energy level will go up, and then there will be less malefic events in life. Now every cosmic life energy has its general significations, and depending on the strength in the natal chart and where it is placed, whether it impacts on the ascendant house or on the 2nd house, which is the house of habits and tastes. So it must impact either on the first house or on the second house or on the Dashamsha Lagna. So these three portals, the ascendant house is a portal, the second house is a portal, then the Dashamsha ascendant is a portal. Now at the portal, whichever cosmic energy is present, now it gives the taste. It gives the taste, it imparts the taste to that individual. So you got to look at three portals: ascendant house and second house and the Dashamsha Lagna. So that will, you can pick up the taste, what kind of taste the person has got. And most people, if they have got a relative amount of freedom within themselves and the parents are not having a stranglehold on their children, you will get the knowingness yourself. You will know where you have to go. You never need to go to an astrologer to find out whether you want to send your son to an engineering college or a medical college. That is the height of the ridiculous. And because there is a divine programming, which the whole horoscope is the divine programming, and automatically it will come and the person will say, I want to do physics, then I want to go into business and I want to do this, and just allow him to do this. And what is this overprotective approach where you are very concerned, will he be successful or will he not be successful? Now this crooked thinking, excessive obsession with success.
The parents have a particular
idea
and a vision, this is how it should be, and they're trying to put the child into that box.
Mold, exactly. Now this is happening more so in India, which is a family-centered society. So you are so much interested in your son. Why? Not because you are spiritually flowered, because your son is your investment, it's your bank deposit.
But if you see West, Guruji, they are the other extreme.
They are the other extreme. Both are unbalanced. You have got to find out the middle path. You got to use your intelligence to find out the middle path. You must not kick out your children, and you must not hang on to your children. You must make your children your friends. Okay, that is the path of wisdom. Okay, for that you need to spiritually grow. You need to flower. You need to flower in freedom. So then you will have a very good equation with your children. They are your friends because you are not having any ulterior motives. You are not having the idiotic question, will he take care of me when I am old? What is this nonsense? Are you some stupid cripple, handicapped fellow for your son to take care of you?
If it has to happen, it will happen.
But the question cannot even take birth, it's ridiculous. Cannot take birth. So because of the poverty of thinking, poverty of perception, that you are having all these kinds of perceptions.
Sure. So when you said Dashamsha Lagna, which is, are you referring to D10?
D10, D10 is Dashamsha.
So rather than looking at the D24, right, for studies.
No, D24 is for education.
Yeah. Okay. If you look at your profession, the profession is saying something, right? Maybe I'm engineer, but I end up doing accounting,
right.
Management studies into a profession. So which one is important?
Both are important.
So we need to kind of look at both and tell and guide from an astrology point of view to the child. Say, though you're studying in engineering, but you will end up doing a management. So how that kind of, that's confusing.
See, guidance comes into the picture when you have gone blind and you have gone dead. Because the divine has given the knowingness. The Atma is the knower. Okay, you got the knowingness. So every individual will know what he has to do. Now, if there is enormous amount of social pressure on that individual, the individual is having the next idiotic question, is this right? Will my father accept it? Now you're finished. That question will just finish you off. What does it matter whether your father accepts it or he does not accept it? This question never happens in the West. It's only happening in India, where your parents have to decide for you. They have to decide your wife. They have to decide what you will study in the university. They have to decide who your friends are going to be. What is this nonsense?
But I think it's changing now. to some extent. No, because kids have become more rebellious.
Yeah, right.
It is because the father did not take the decision for himself. Now he wants to take the decision for
The children.
In India, it is like this. You matured after 50.
I answered this question of Beena ji yesterday, because what the horoscope shows, we didn't ask for any opinion of the astrologer telling me that my daughter should do medicine. He just, one of those general things, they just come and they sit there and they just look at the chart and they just tell you preferably good things to hear. They don't tell you the bad things.
No. There was a reason they said it, because Gayatri has a strong sun. Now, a strong sun in the first house or 10th house gives a career in medicine. It's a sutra in Vedic astrology. So the Vedic astrology said that a doctor, put a doctor, but you've got to look at the fact that she's got an Aries ascendant, which is a restless ascendant. You've got to look at the Dashamsha, what is the position of the sun in the Dashamsha. You've got to look at so many things. It's not a cursory, casual glance you make and then you make a statement.
So you have to always mix and match, right? What's the person's interest as well as what is kind of coming out as per the sutras. And how do you guide it direct? End of the day, if someone comes for you consulting, right? So what do you suggest? At least one or two options we need to go back and tell, right?
What I do is, I say, how come you come to me to ask this? And you are the owner of your life, and don't you know what you should be doing? Then they're telling you, doubt. Okay. Then what is the conflict you have? What is the doubt? Then you like something, but you're not supposed to go on that road. You're supposed to go on some other road.
Yes.
And what will decide on which road you will go? So the mandate in India is, you will walk on the road of permanent security. Okay. You will not walk on the road of Atmic inclination. You will not walk on the road of calling. You will not walk on the road of taste which the divine has given you. But you will select that profession which will make you an excellent breadwinner, so that the father can be lazy and you will support your father. What is this nonsense? It's idiotic. So the first question I ask is, I am very surprised that you don't know, you have not got the calling yet. So what do? I look at the 4th house, because the 4th house is how rooted you are, and I look at the ascendant house. Now if the ascendant house is badly afflicted and the 4th house is afflicted, then the knowingness what to do in life will not be there. Now in that circumstance alone, you must consult the knowingness. Now there are some people in whom the knowingness is entirely absent. It's not there at all. Now that person is like mutable mercury. You can, it's like plasticine, you can take and you can make him an engineer, make him a doctor. Okay. Then you can look at your highest security road and you can put him on the highest security road, because he has no calling inside, there is no calling coming from inside. Are you following this, what I am talking? Yes. No calling coming from inside, no inclination coming from inside. So he will do, so in India for example, children ask, because it's a very tradition bound society, family centered society, will my father and mother be happy with it? I asked this question, I said, my God, this is very sad, man. This is very, very sad, this is very tragic.
There are instances where my professor, Dr. N. Rangabhashyam, his parents were great devotees of Ramana Maharishi. And according to Dr. N.R., he was a good friend of my parents, therefore I know the story. I was only a student, so I won't really know these personal stories. He was a small child, and his parents had taken him to go and they had gone for Ramana Maharishi's darshan. And they never asked what this boy should do, but he just kept looking at him, and he said, this child will study medicine, he will become a surgeon, that's all. That was it. So he says, I had, it was just a foregone conclusion that I was going to become a doctor. There was no talking on the subject, nothing, they didn't consult anybody or anything. That is one aspect. Another aspect is, I do have children, Krishna, I do have patients because I'm dealing with small children. I do have a lot of parents who keep on asking me, to give you an example, I have a little child who sits in front of me, and as he's talking, he's constantly sketching, you know, and he does beautiful drawings, beautiful things. And what is he drawing? He's drawing dress. He's either looking at what I'm wearing, you know, if I'm wearing this sari, he's looking at his design and he's drawing that, or he's drawing a picture of something which he finds interesting on my table, you know. And this boy is very close, he talks very freely, he's so good in designing and he's so good in cooking. And his mother and he come and they are very comfortable when they're talking to me. One day the father comes and then the man says, oh, I'm very happy to meet you. You know, do you think my son will become an engineer? You see, doctor, my grandfather was an engineer, my father was an engineer, I am an engineer, okay? And so I just told him, I said, you know, he's just 8 years old. I think we should just wait for him to develop, and we have to wait and watch. And the wife was sitting petrified as to what I was going to say, because she's sitting next to him and she's not breathing a word. She's hardly breathing because she's so terrified of the husband, because he's a very autocratic man. So you see, a lot of parents, either they don't know, they can't help, or they just overbearing, and they just have, they don't. And very often what happens, I have any number of cases where this boy goes and does his engineering or medicine or whatever, and then kicks it all off, because he has at a later stage he has got enough courage to do that.
Yeah.
And what a waste. What a waste. You know? So I think just we have to just allow them to flow. I'm not even talking about the astrological part. I think I'm inside. You see what their instincts are. No?
And I think I also feel when the grace is there, it just happens also. For a lot of us, for example, somehow my father always had this thing that he gave me only 2 options. He said, you take BA Literature or BSc Chemistry. I was like, this is like a weird option. Then I had an inclination for science, so I picked up chemistry. But then later I realized I didn't have that calling. Then I chose to move out, and I think I landed quite all right. And there are a lot of people that way.
Yeah.
At some point, they're able to understand this is what I want, and there is a way to move into it. But in India, it's little more tough than a Western country where you can switch even at whatever age you want, you can choose to. Like for example, yesterday we were having an example where he was in a monastery and then he went into medicine. In India, you can't imagine doing it. I mean, they wouldn't give you an admission because there's 100 criteria and the competition levels are high. So maybe every parent is paranoid about what's going to happen to my child. And
Can we zoom into...
1 minute. I want to make a comment about Ramana Maharshi's blessing. So I said the road of Atmic inclination, the road of innate taste, which is the road of Atmic inclination. Then the road of social influence, you go on watching TV programs and you see that NASA is doing great work, so you want to become a rocket scientist. So impressions coming on you. Then the bread and butter road of complete security given by the parents. So there's another road here, Ramana Maharshi. Now here, the divine is speaking through Bhagavan. Okay. The divine is giving. That's the good fortune of the parents, because the problem is fixed once and for all. As a blessing, is fixed once and for all, because it's coming from the Maharshi. He knows everything. So this is more of an exception rather than a conventional.
And even if that is not in the script, can we say, because it is coming from Maharshi's mouth, it could be re-scripted if it is not in the script?
No, I think it's in the script. Because the Maharshi is just announcing it.
And he went on to
very eminent.
He was a very eminent surgeon and had so many degrees and so many medals of honor and felicitations done for him. So
very eminent. His Ramana Towers in Chennai.
Now it's Ramana Clinic.
Ramana Clinic beginning. Now it is Ramana Towers. And it's a 10-storied tower, very impressive structure in T Nagar. So homage to the Maharshi, Ramana Towers. And so this is a different kind of thing. But there's, okay, we'll come back to it. Please continue. Go to the next question.
Yeah, I mean, can we zoom on to the transit period and understand the mode of the divine there?
Okay.
Right, and if you look at when he dropped off, it was a Saturn Jupiter period started, right? So what would have happened during that period that kind of caused that change in the mood?
So the transit,
Or probably D24.
2012, right?
2013, December 26th.
December 26th, 2013. There is the transit.
Okay.
This is during the Saturn Jupiter subperiod.
Right, okay. Right. So this is such a simple thing. The prediction is hotshot prediction, this is, because subperiod Lord is in the 8th house, and to worsen matter it is retrograde. Now you have got to understand this is a very powerful sutra, that whenever any planet is retrograde in the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, it will not give any fruits. Life will be blocked. Life will get into cold storage. Okay, retrograde motion in the 6th, in the 8th and in the 12th. Now to make matters worse, in the D24 DC, Jupiter subperiod Lord is in the 12th house and afflicted by Rahu Ketu. Therefore it is a sure shot prediction that he will not succeed in education in the Jupiter subperiod.
He is afflicted by both.
And there are more complications in this chart, because Rahu afflicts the moon. Look at Rahu and look at the moon.
The D24 Guruji?
No, look at the Rasi chart.
Rasi chart.
Not able to, I must see here. Okay. Okay, then you got to.
The 12th house.
It's 100% nodal affliction chart. It's 100% nodal affliction. You see, Rahu and Ketu are in the 6th and the 8th axis, and the moon is certainly is well placed in the 5th house, but and Jupiter is in the 12th house, very bad that is, and person is too rajasic because Mars is in the 7th house, rajasic and restless.
Restless. He is a restless.
Restless. And in the Chaturvimshamsha you can see Jupiter is in the 12th house, and
Afflicted by both.
go to D4, yeah, go to D4. Okay.
Again Jupiter.
Now look at the D4. Now the D4 is how well the person feels within himself, his home life. Now here you got the worst imaginable affliction. So Rahu is in the 12th house, and Rahu is in the 12th house in the RC. Then Moon and Mercury are in the 8th house, which is another horrible house, house of suffering and house of death-like suffering, and Rahu is afflicting. So does the person feel well? No, the person does not feel well emotionally. So can he study well? Because Moon and Mercury are basic planets of a thing, probably not. And the person could have also wandered into drugs in the earlier part because of this affliction in D4. And the Rahu Ketu nodal affliction 100% is difficult. Is difficult. But if there is redeeming grace in the divisional charts, then the 100% nodal affliction is not working. I have seen charts like I have got a person in Dubai, one of the people who consult me, got 100% affliction Gemini ascendant, fantastic Dashamsha chart, fantastic Ekadashamsha chart. Person is doing very well in Dubai, but chart has got 100% affliction. What do you say to this? So there are niches in the life, niches, small pockets in life where the Rahu Ketu affliction, the Rasi chart is not getting into those niches. They are kind of, there is a fence around them, he is not able to get into it. So those are prosperous niches, they are like oasis in a desert. So the person is prospering very nicely.
And Guruji, during this period from 2012 until 2015, during the 3-year period, he actually knew that he was not really doing well in the exams. The first year, but he did not reveal that to the parents. of fear, and he kept it very secretively until, because in the third year you were not allowed in the examination if you don't
Clear the 2
clear
years.
the
The first
first 2
2
years, right? So that is when it has actually naturally had to come out.
Correct.
So now the question is, that period, that 2012 to 2015 period, that keeping it secretively, how can you see that in a chart?
Oh, wonderful question. Scorpio ascendant people are secretive.
Secretive. So how would you know? Yeah, that is a general,
General
signification
thing.
of
Yeah.
a Scorpio ascendant.
Yeah.
How would you know that? Because he was projecting as if everything is going well the first 2 years.
Is expected to project, is expected to give that show.
So how would one know that we have to watch him? We have to help him. How can we watch that? One is general signification of Scorpio ascendant being secretive, but during that period being secretive, how would one identify?
No, the general pattern throughout life, secretive. And is also Gandanta, Jeshta Nakshatra. The ascendant MEP is in Gandanta. It is in Jeshta Nakshatra. It's a difficult chart. And home life is very difficult. Home life is very difficult. So there are serious things, and that is just the way the fate is playing out in the D24 during the Jupiter sub period, that everything has to come out of the Pandora's box. And so, but the important thing, next question.
Yeah, so I think at this point in time they came to you as to consult with you, right? And you suggested to hold on until July 2016, right? And not to kind of give it up so that he can complete his education, right? So
now, what did I suggest? What did I suggest?
You suggested to hold on, to continue, right? Not to kind of drop out, come out of the college.
No, I didn't suggest that.
That's what my understanding was.
No, I didn't suggest that at all. See, I gave a very unusual insight to them. I said, he cannot pass this exam now. It's just impossible. Time is not right. Ask him to pack up and come back home. Okay, a revolutionary solution. So then when does he go back to college? He has to go back in the Mercury period when the Mercury Dasha starts. And Mercury is a significator of education, and he has got a Gemini ascendant chart which is a Mercury sign, and he has got Mercury in the 9th house of fortune in the D24 DC. So everything will go well in the Mercury Dasha when it starts. Now, you see, Indians, they won't share the full truth. They will hide. All the Western people to whom I have given consultations, is so easy and beautiful to deal with them, because straight away they put the cards on the table, they speak the truth, finished. It's so easy to deal with them. Indians hide. They won't tell the truth. They are made that way by divine architecture. They are not able to tell the truth. And therefore, your guidance can slightly go off the mark, because you are not given the requisite life data. You are hiding something. It's like going to a doctor and you have got terrific pain in the right part of the stomach. Your appendix has to be removed, right part. And you are telling you are not well, and I want to get it. What is this talk? You have got to tell you have got pain here in the abdomen, in the right part. So you don't tell the story. And this problem is actually brewing and developing. And I was not told that there has been kind of continuing malaise in the first 3 years of education. So the person didn't want to go back and continue engineering. He said, no, I want to do economics and commerce. I want to do that. Because it's Mercury, I said economics and commerce makes sense. Okay, let him go into it. But there is stiff resistance to engineering because it's a tougher subject. Engineering is a tougher subject, a lot of mathematics, a lot of physics, a lot of principles. So you got to learn all that. And with so many afflictions in the Rasi chart, and the D4 so badly afflicted, the person wanted some relief from all these things. So I said, go back home, no studying now, come back to college, Mercury subperiod. That is my prescription. So they followed the prescription and they came back in the Mercury subperiod, but they did not come back to engineering. Okay. Later on they told he has got resistance to engineering, he doesn't want to go back and study engineering. He wants a completely brand new thing. And so when you have a problem like that, they said he's talking about all these things. I said, take him to a counselor. You won't take him to a counselor. So every way you block the road for yourself.
But in this chart, Mercury is placed in 8th house, right?
In the Rasi chart,
Yes.
not bad because it is its own sign. It is its own sign. In Gemini, intellectual, not bad. But what is important is when the Mercury starts ticking, then you have got to look at the D24. And in the D24, it is wonderfully placed in the 9th house of fortune, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
9th house.
And therefore the person will,
along with the sun,
along with the sun.
the third house.
So the person will do well. So it's a sure shot prediction. Sure shot prediction. So the moment you know that this is what is on the cards of fate, this is there, the conveyor belt is going to be switched on, it will roll out like this. Now once you know this, then all conflict will go away for you. Because otherwise you will go on thinking, is this the right choice? Will I pass the exam? Will I get a degree? I will not get a degree. I am already so bad. All this kind of thinking.
Yes.
So how to consult is a very big matter. How to consult? People must be trained
Yes.
how to consult. And once you get the know-how of how to consult, your consultation will become productive and it will become efficient. Otherwise it will be lacking in efficiency.
So what about Jupiter's 12th, being in the 12th house along with Rahu Ketu? Would that constrict the success in any way, Guruji? Would it stop the success?
Higher learning, because Jupiter gives the higher learning.
Yes.
But the 9th lord as a compensation is exalted in the 5th house. So that's compensation.
Okay.
But spiritual education, Jupiter is spiritual education.
Spiritually.
Spiritual education, so that won't happen.
Guruji, here one question. That we said till 2 years he was successful in secretly hiding the results from parents. So if he is successful in that, it means that parents are not interfering that much in his career. Otherwise, you cannot hide anything from the parents. They will know the results.
No, it's see, the parents have got very busy and very difficult lives. Very difficult lives. And this is America. So children do not like the parents doing
Telling.
doing policing. Not appreciate. In India, you do policing all the
I
time.
thought this is Indian.
No. This is America. So the children don't appreciate. It's a land of freedom basically. And youngsters, teenagers, they want to be free. They don't want to be asked any question. And so there are limitations that won't work. So you just leave and you wait rather helplessly. And then you watch. You are very concerned. It's not that you are not concerned. You are very, very concerned. But you find that your hands are tied. And then you have to keep quiet till the problem comes to the surface. But it's going very well now. The Mercury thing.
Jyotish.
And he's doing very well in college. He got into a very good college.
Thank you.
I have a son-in-law who is born and brought up in the USA, but was his parents went are Syrian Christians, and they went from Kerala to the USA. And he passed civil chemical engineering from MIT. Then he thought that medicine was more of his choice. So he got into medicine, and he had a fellowship from the Harvard Medical School. So there was though his parents are both doctors, I don't know to what extent he was influenced by his final choice. That means going to medicine. But there was there was no. I think he was not influenced by his parents' profession, and he is a very simple, unassuming person. Doesn't flaunt his degrees at all. I didn't even know that he was so highly qualified, and I'm happy to have him. A very good father and a good husband, and very simple person, and it is amazing that there is so much freedom to choose a subject.
Mm.
There was no pressure upon him when he changed from chemical and engineering to medicine.
Mm.
And it is fantastic. I don't think the Indian parents think that way.
No, I think because Indian parents have to spend a lot, and so children also, they may be pushed into to do a particular profession, which is perhaps not in their reckoning, but they just fall in line because the parents want them to do it or whatever, and they just quite often they just stick with it. It's very, very rare that you find in an Indian scenario where they break away from what the parents decided for them and decide to do something quite different. That would just mean that the parents have either washed their hands off, or occasionally there may be a parent who is willing to, okay, all right, you want to do this, all right, we'll give you the money for it. Because here you don't have any other source of income. You are still living with your parents. So maybe in the West it's very easy for you to switch from one thing to another very easily, and it's a done thing, it's a common thing, it's a very common story to hear all around. It's not so common here, and if somebody has done it, it's kind of thought of as being, it's not looked upon in a very kind way. You think you've gone against, oh my God, you've gone against the parents' wishes, and there's a lot of guilt and a lot of all this which is being thrust on you.
But I think education system per se is not that flexible.
Exactly.
See, for example, there you can make a choice in your second year of graduation on what you want to pursue in the next 2
Very
years
creative,
and 3 years.
extremely
Yes,
creative.
here it's very constricted.
Mm.
You'll have to start all over again.
Desh Kal Patra Vati Hotel. It's something like
Exactly.
Correct. Jyoti ji, I wish to make a remark on the data given here about your son-in-law. Two things seem to be at work here. Now the fact that his two parents were doctors, and so his swadharma, given his personality, given his nice sattvic personality, would be that he too, his swadharma will be that of a doctor. Okay. Now, but somehow because of his passion for modern technology, maybe he did chemical engineering. So that means that's the influence of Mars, because Mars is chemistry, and chemistry is Scorpio sign, and chemistry is fire. All chemical reactions are just fire. So that is Mars energy, and there must be an influence of. Is he a surgeon?
No, he's a radiologist.
Is a radiologist. So right, X-rays is also Mars in astrology sutra. So the professional chart is under the influence of a Martian energy, and therefore the migration from chemical technology to radiology is not a big thing. But he became a doctor because of punya karma of the family, because the family thing will express itself through you, because that is how in India, for example, the good side is an Ayurvedic doctor, son will be an Ayurvedic doctor, a lawyer's son will be a lawyer, a doctor's son will be a doctor, and that's how it goes. Now that means the essence, that means you have an advantage, that father's samskara comes to you. So you, in all probability, you may be a better doctor than your father, a better Ayurvedic doctor, better surgeon than your father was. So that is right, but it has to be very nicely maintained. Otherwise society can interfere and push it out, so that you don't get the swadharma. Yeah. So this is an example of punya karma and swadharma. Nice, I am very happy to hear about this.
And my daughter told me that he picks up things from the plates or whatever he is studying of a patient, which the others miss.
Must be very perceptive person. Yeah.
And very quiet and assuming.
Great, great. So now wait. Now you think Purvi, by her smartness, she got this husband, or the divine gave it to her? Tell me that.
I think divine gave.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God you discovered the truth.